Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review the new horror film, The Mannequin. And this 85-minute slasher flick from writer-director John Berardo tells the story of a stylist assistant investigates her sister's death in a historic LA building only to face a vengeful ghost of a serial killer who dismembered victims decades ago. She must escape before she's next. And this film certainly has an interesting setup. Evil, cursed mannequin, and ghosts, serial killer ghost in particular, who comes back for the women who wind up being in this apartment, this flat. And this film, I think, Berardo, struggles a bit in certain areas. Like, the sound design of this movie is so off and challenging. It's hard to hear them whisper. Like, it sounds like they're whispering, talking. And then the most aggressive auditory jump scares that happen that feel so cheap. But overall, I think the sound is not one of the strong points. But I do think Alexander Arntzen, who scored this film, I think it has some merit, some moments that help stand out. This film has some disturbing imagery for sure, and really utilizes like background scares to really build up and heighten the tension in this space. And this film certainly has this tension. There's a few fleeting moments of some good unexpected humor, and it really feels like they could have leaned heavier into that and it would have had some better impact. I think there's moments where it's like they have to get around some of the violence and stuff, but it's still a very bloody body horror-esque kind of affair that certainly works in terms of, the confines of the story. And I think in general, there's not much else to really write home about from the directorial and the filmmaking perspective. Story-wise, like the writing here, these female characters that are the center of this film are so insufferable. I don't buy into their friendships at all. And that rips out all the weight and the power and impact on these stories. And when they're just so insufferable that you can't really connect with these characters, and once it gets to the point where you're okay with them becoming cannon fodder, that's where we start having some issues. But this film has a lot, like, it had a lot of potential. And I think it gets a little convoluted in its writing. I think it gets a little oversimplified in its writing and really leaning into cliche other ideas, trying to channel them together here. And I think the cast, I don't think there's anybody who really stands out as terrible or really stands out in general in a positive, kind of leaving that open-ended. But this particular film is something that, at the end of the day, it's not particularly effective. It's a bit cheap. It's honestly not, it's not going to scratch that itch for a lot of people. But at 85 minutes, and if all you want is this kind of strange, supernatural slasher kind of thing for a limited amount of time, then it might be worth your time. But like flying out, going out and checking out this film, I think maybe if you really love the genre, you might get some enjoyment out of it. But overall, it's a pretty frustrating experience. But those are my thoughts on The Mannequin. Let me know what you think and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.